So Donald Trump is hitting the road next week talking to American voters about how great the economy is, but mostly it's probably going to be about how bad Joe Biden was, and he's the one who crashed the economy, and, poor little Trump is doing everything he can to make it better. Unfortunately for Donald Trump, a new poll shows that not only do voters not buy that crap, but roughly half of Americans are squarely blaming him and his policies for the price increases that Trump tells them aren't happening. According to this new poll, 47% of Americans say that Donald Trump is squarely to blame for the financial problems that we are all experiencing at this point. But that's not even the worst news of the poll, right? I mean, that's a given. The worst part is that 37% of Trump voters not only blame him for the price increases they're experiencing, but they also said that they have no memory of things ever being worse than they are right now. 37% of people who voted for Trump in 2024 say, I don't remember things ever being worse than they are right now. You don't win elections when more than a third of the people who support you say that things are worse than ever economically in this country than I've ever seen, and it's because of you. Because of the guy I voted for, I can't afford groceries. That is pretty much the final nail in the coffin. We can look at all these prognostications about what's going to happen in next year's midterms, like there's going to be a blue wave, Republicans are failing. None of that matters. What matters are these numbers right here. That Americans say it's worse than ever, and we blame Donald Trump and by extension the Republican Party for what's happening. You don't overcome those numbers. You simply don't. Unless, of course, you turn around the economy. But that would involve Donald Trump ending completely his trade war. It would involve Donald Trump ending every single ICE raid taking place in this country, stealing labor away. And he's not going to do either of those things willingly. I mean, the courts, of course, are trying to put a stop to both of those things. But ultimately, it's going to come down to the Supreme Court. But if Trump were to voluntarily stop those policies that are harming the economy, it would be him admitting that he was wrong, which he will never, ever do. So Americans will continue to suffer. They will continue to struggle to afford basic necessities like, food. And they, in greater and greater numbers as this continues, will blame him. It's so bad that Arizona Republican strategist Barrett Marson told Politico this: voters aren't going to go, I voted for Trump to better the economy, but Biden just hamstrung him too much. Voters are going to very quickly forget about Joe Biden and just as quickly turn their ire to Trump unless things get better. And that's right. I've talked frequently about the fact that American voters have an exceptionally short attention span, and that is true. And typically that's a bad thing. But for Donald Trump right now, it's a bad thing, which means for Democrats, it's a good thing. Biden did not tank the economy. Biden did everything in his power to put us on a better path, and it was working. It just wasn't working fast enough for the millions of people who flipped and voted for Trump last year. But it was slowly getting better. So Biden is not to blame. I'm not trying to say that he is and Trump's benefiting from people forgetting that. But the further away we get from that Biden administration, the holdouts in the MAGA base who are still blaming Biden for everything, those numbers are going to keep reducing. Fewer and fewer people are going to be blaming Biden 6 months from now than do today. Fewer than that will be blaming him 12 months from now than they do 6 months from now, and so on and so forth. Each passing month, more and more Trump voters will start to blame him. And at the same time, As we have seen, in other administrations, including Trump's own administration, they're going to get more and more pissed off as he continues to try to blame the other guy. We're already seeing it. We're seeing it in pushback from conservative media outlets trying to be like, hey, Caroline, this is kind of his economy now. The bad things we are experiencing are absolutely 100% Trump's fault. The price increases are from his tariffs and, of course, the lack of labor here in the United States due to his ICE raids. He did all of this voluntarily. There was no reason to do it. He just wanted to. And screwed us over in the process. And he's going to continue to do it because so far nobody with the power to stop him has stopped him. We'll see what the Supreme Court says about his tariffs. But, the double-edged sword of that is even if they say you can't do this with the tariffs, then suddenly the government owes hundreds of billions of dollars in immediate payments to all the people who paid tariffs. So we'd go bankrupt as a country. It's either the country goes bankrupt or the public goes bankrupt because Trump put us in that situation. One of these groups is going down. We just have to wait and see which one the Supreme Court decides to throw under the bus to save, Trump. And I'm assuming they'll probably throw the public under the bus first. Thanks for watching, everybody. But before you go, I have a couple things I want to tell you. First and foremost, if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so to stay up to date on the latest in progressive news. Make sure you like, comment, and share the videos as widely as possible. But in addition to that, if you're only following us here on YouTube, then I gotta tell you, you're missing out. You can follow me, Farron Cousins, across social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, or Blue Sky. You can get me on all of those platforms at Farron Balanced, right? Simple enough. It's the name of this channel. Just go search that again on any of those other platforms and you will find me, because I'm not listed under any other names. If you see anyone else that is not Farron Balanced, believe you me, it's not me. This is the only place you can get it, along with those other social media sites. So again, I encourage you to follow me across all of social media so you don't miss a minute of what's happening in the world of progressive media.